A year ago this week, Minneapolis was on fire. Entire buildings, and in some cases blocks. Hearts were broken, and any sense of innocence the city had was lost. George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man killed by the police over an alleged misdemeanor offense, sparked a movement, an unapologetic recalibration about how we think about race, and a critique on those empowered to provide safety.
I come to tell you, America, this is the time of dealing with accountability in the criminal justice system.
Through the grief, the black community found its footing and found allies.
People have to want change and have to be willing to sacrifice some privilege.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder. Out of necessity, Minneapolis has become a place of healing and introspection.
That hopefully one day our world will change.
But that day, that change has not yet arrived. According to the data published by Politico, police are still killing people at the same rate as before. Hello, everybody. I'm David Shuster, and thanks for joining us. Despite George Floyd's murder, the mass protests, the renewed calls for police reform, and the guilty verdict of Derek Chauvin, the reality is staggering. Through the first 4 months of this year, there were just 6 days in which police in the United States did not kill anyone. And the pace of killings by police is right on par with the number of fatal encounters in 2020, which averaged more than 3 per day for a total of 1,126. The data consistently shows that black people are 3 times more likely to be killed by police than white people, and 1.5 times as likely to be unarmed. All of this underscores there's a higher level of police suspicion and fear about black people and a greater willingness to use lethal force. In the effort to limit fatal encounters, a few communities are showing some signs of progress. Colorado and New Mexico have ended qualified immunity, which previously shielded police from lawsuits for alleged civil rights violations. And in Eugene, Oregon, incidents involving mental health, homelessness, and addiction now prompt responses from unarmed mental health professionals. There are also the federal government proposals to create a registry of police misconduct, end qualified immunity across the nation, establish independent commissions, and provide more data transparency. But those efforts are reactive policy measures. Our society must address the root causes, and that includes changing the culture and scope of policing. Most of last year's killings by police began as traffic stops, mental health or wellness checks, a domestic disturbance, or other nonviolent offense. America's policing culture, though, seems predicated on militarized forces, overcriminalization of low-level offenses, and an us versus them mentality.
Get out of the car and get on the ground now. You're going to get it again.
Nancy Levine, a criminal justice expert, says they're trained in a militaristic style. They're trained on use of force with a use of force continuum that gets in their head that you start with this amount of force and then you increase it to that amount and then a higher threshold and higher threshold versus being trained in de-escalation. Finally, there is the issue of accountability. One can only imagine how many despicable encounters get swept under the rug because there is no cell phone video or body camera footage. Remember, until the video surfaced of George Floyd being choked, the Minneapolis Police Department said he died following a medical incident. We need more transparency and more real change. The demonstrations and conversations can only be the start.